Imagine a cozy cafe. Everything's dark oak wood and inviting, and dressed in soft Christmas cheer. It smells of cinnamon, cloves, orange peel, and vanilla sugar. Coffee is brewing, and there is a scent of something else too. Perhaps mulled wine that makes the place feel even warmer. A cat is sleeping soundly on the counter, next to a pile of festive books. The place is filled with peace and calm, but also joy that comes with the season. A warm feeling of family and togetherness is all-encompassing, and all strangers are welcome here to share in the feeling of home, coziness, and to soak up on some of that cat love this Christmas. There's a little more chatter this time, but no computers or phones to be seen. Just people enjoying the moment, enjoying their drinks, cat cuddles, and some conversation, and exchanging well wishes. For Christmas has finally arrived. Welcome back to the Cat Coach Café. And if you're new here, welcome for the very first time. Me and the cat coaches, Aragorn, Apricot, and Prince, are so glad you find your way here, just in time for Christmas. This is a place to slow down, relax, and tune into the season, as well as a place to share our love for all things cats and books, and a place where I share some of my favorite Czech seasonal traditions in the hope they will inspire your life. And just like in a real cafe, we meet all kinds of people here at Cat Coach Café. Most of them, they will be authors, cat lovers, or both, or anyone who embraces catitude and principles of catful living. That is, they live on their own terms and make the most of what they have. In today's episode, I am super excited to welcome my sister to talk about all things Christmas because, frankly, I don't know another person who would love Christmas more than the two of us. And together we'll share some of our favorite Czech Christmas traditions. And as a proper Christmas gathering, we'll also welcome back all our guests, along with those who are to come in early 2025, so they can share their favorite Christmas traditions, memories, and well wishes, and some inspirational words for 2025. So definitely stay tuned. There's lots of good stuff coming up today. As always, I encourage you to take this time for yourself, forget all of your to-dos, grab a hot drink of choice, a warm blanket, and cozy up, hopefully with a cat by your side. Although today's episode, being a Christmas special, is a little bit longer than we're used to, just because there's so much fun in store for you. So if you can't dedicate so much time to it this time doing nothing, this is going to be a great company for you while finishing any pre-Christmas tasks you have at hand. To start off today, we will try something a little different. Instead of our usual drink meditation, we will try and tune into the feeling of Christmas. But feel free to have that hot drink by your side as always. Now, close your eyes and make sure you sit in a comfortable position. Take a couple of deep breaths. As we find ourselves just days away from Christmas, I want you to think of your favorite Christmas memory. Imagine you're back in that moment. What do you feel? Do you feel joy, excitement, perhaps gratitude, or maybe a combination of all? Tune in to that feeling and let it fill you up. As you're back in that moment, can you notice any sensations in your body? Perhaps a warm feeling in your chest, a light smile on your face, perhaps a new sense of calm and relaxation that is quietly spreading through your body. As you're basking in these feelings and the memory of your favorite Christmas, what can you smell? Perhaps some Christmas spices, vanilla sugar, homemade eggnog maybe, or maybe some mulled wine, or just the smell of pine needles from the Christmas tree, or maybe the smell of snow and winter. Can you remember any pleasant tastes connected with that moment? Make your memories as real and vivid as possible. Then once you have that image from your past in your mind with all these sensations, hold it and take another deep inhale. Hold it at the peak of your breath. Let those memories and pleasant sensations fill you up. Feel them expanding, taking over your being. And then release and exhale. If you have your hot drink by, slowly smell it and take a sip, creating a new memory just now. A memory of peace, calm, and quiet joy. Open your eyes, and as you go about your day today, remember the feeling you just brought back. But that is the true essence of Christmas. Not the to-dos, not the rush, not the stress, but the joy you just recreated. I can't believe we're once again standing at the door of Christmas, but I, for one, could not be more excited, especially because it means some much needed downtime for me at last. I wonder if I ever needed it more. After a pretty stressful year, now come the days of rest, good food, nurturing and dreaming, and also so many favorite movies and fairy tales. But before we get to all of that, there is one more important celebration we should not forget about, and which in fact gave us Christmas. Tomorrow we celebrate the Winter Solstice, a day when the day is the shortest and the night is the longest, when the sun is the furthest away from us and yet just about to start its return. It's a time of rebirth, the return of the sun, a new cycle, and also the beginning of astronomical winter. Back in the past, big bonfires would be made, and it was believed that the last dying sun ray transformed its protective powers into the bonfire itself. I have to say, I learned about the Winter Solstice ritual only in recent years, and ever since then, wondered how could I celebrate this rebirth myself and making it meaningful for me. I could make a bonfire in my garden, but truth be told, though I had every intention to do so in the last 2 years, there simply wasn't time for that, or the weather didn't agree with my plans. But I took the idea of the dying sun and transformed it into a ritual of my own, which I thought I'd share with you in case you might enjoy it too. So take a pen and a piece of paper. Don't write in any fancy journal now, as we're going to let go of this page. As we're standing at the end of this sun cycle, think about all the things you want to leave behind or which you want to let die out in your life. These could be habits, limiting beliefs, or perhaps even a mindset that no longer serves you, or maybe a certain feeling connected with this year that you don't want to bring to the year that's to come. Anything that comes to your mind and which you want to let die with the sun, write it down. Then if you have the option of making a bonfire, take the list with you and throw it into the fire. If you can't make a bonfire, you could take a heat-resistant bowl or container, whatever you have at hand, and take it with you somewhere outside. Light the paper and throw it into the bowl and watch it burn. If not even that is possible for you though, you can also do this at home by tearing the paper to pieces and flushing it down the toilet, for example. It lacks the fire symbolism, but it does the trick nevertheless. And once the paper is gone, celebrate. Feel the lightness of the new start. You are a blank page now, ready to start over. And to enjoy Christmas without the demons of the past year. Did I ever tell you, Mina, about Midwinter's Eve? A night when the old year stumbles and the new is yet to be born. A night when time does not flow but pools, and everything that could be is. When the piskies play their tricks and blow strange notions into human minds, when the Spriggans hold their carnivals, shaking the rocks and shivering the shells on the shore, until the beaches ring with their fierce music, when the Buckas rush from their sea-bound coves, and for one night the sea spirits and the land spirits feast and dance on the winds until the cockerel crows. And what about myrrh? I asked. David's eyes crinkled at the corners, as changeable as the sea. Myrrh has a busy night ahead of her, singing to the sea, just as she does every year, just as she did 1,000 years ago, with Mordelin by her side. This beautiful, beautiful excerpt is from the book A Midwinter's Tale by Lili Hayward, which is such a beautiful tale full of folklore and magic and one very special cat called Myrrh, which is very much part of the magic. I highly, highly recommend this book. It's so very beautiful. Before we get to all those Christmas traditions, there is one last candle for us to be lit this coming Sunday, the angelic candle, representing peace and calm. So, how can you bring some more peace and calm into the final run-up to Christmas, I wonder? Remember the feeling from our meditation earlier and let that guide you, perhaps. We have so many beautiful Christmas traditions in the Czech Republic, and as an official Christmas nerd myself, I've studied the traditions of many countries too, as well as traveled to many of them before Christmas. But no other Christmas ever seems as good as the Czech one. I may be biased here, of course, but I think if we do one thing right, it is Christmas, and I cannot imagine it any other way. The main celebration is happening on the 24th of December. This is what we call Štědrý den. You could translate that as generous day, I suppose. And Christmas Eve is the most anticipated part of Christmas. During the day, it is traditionally recommended to fast, which doesn't mean you can't eat anything, but you should not be eating any meat, and whatever you eat should be rather light, to save some space for the evening celebration. which, by the way, in the past consisted of up to 12 different courses, including the Christmas cookies. If you managed fast, you are said to be able to see a golden pig, a symbol of abundance and good fortune. In the past, the Christmas Eve's dinner would consist of everything the year's harvest offered, which is sort of how today traditional potato salad came to be, as it consists of many different types of veggies, all mixed together into the most delicious side dish you'll ever try. And yes, every family has their own recipe, which is the best one. Usually, this would be served with fried carp. I've never really been fond of the taste of a carp, but I did have its taste associated with Christmas. Since I went vegan, though, I must say I do not miss it at all. It's all about the potato salad, as it turns out, and as I long suspected. As long as I have that, I'm all good. Although it is not actually vegan, but rather vegetarian. But I allow myself to cheat there a little bit, as I do with the Christmas cookies as well. It is on Christmas Eve, after the dinner, that Christmas gifts are given in the Czech Republic. In our tradition, it is not Santa Claus who brings presents, but rather baby Jesus. Even if growing up, the term pretty much meant the same thing to me. Ježíšek, as we call baby Jesus in Czech, was basically Santa Claus. It mattered little to me who brought the presents, so long there were presents under the tree. And my favorite Christmas memory actually is connected to Santa Claus rather than Ježíšek. On one Christmas, when we were still living with our grandparents in their 2-bedroom apartment, don't ask me how we managed, we found a massive, or so it seemed to the children's eyes, brown sack filled with presents under our desk in our room. This was transported to the Christmas tree and all the presents were put under it. Clearly, though, Santa was here and left the presents in our room. I suppose he came through the window. That same night, after we opened all the presents, my dad took me to the kitchen window and showed me 2 pale lines on the sky. Surely these were from Santa's sledge. It was just magical. That said, even if this particular memory is connected with Santa, the magic of the Christmas Eve would always be connected with Ježíšek. When we were little, the Christmas tree would be decorated on Christmas Day and lit for the very first time just after Christmas dinner, when we would hear a soft bell, meaning Ježíšek was there and brought our presents. Then the door that's been closed would open, and the tree in all his glory would shine, and indeed, the presents would magically appear underneath it. Those are the Christmases of my childhood, and I hold these fondly. It was just magical. After we unwrapped all the Christmas presents, and with the Christmas Eve being the night of prophecies, we would light up tiny candles that would be put into large walnut shelves, and these would be then put into a sink filled with water. Each person would have one of these, and if the candles remained together, the family would stay together. If any of them separated, someone would take on a journey of their own. Another tradition is cutting apples in half. If upon cutting it in half, you can see a star in the middle of it, you will be healthy in the upcoming year. In the Czech Republic, Christmas is deeply connected with watching old Czech Christmas fairy tales, and those are broadcasted every single year. The TV channels usually battle over the rights of these as they attract the highest number of spectators every year. And this is the only time of the year I would buy a printed TV guide. And in the morning of the 24th, I would sit down with a highlighter in my hand and highlight all those films and fairy tales that I wanted to watch over Christmas, including favorite films like Love Actually or The Holiday, or completely Christmas unrelated films like Pretty Woman, which for whatever reason tends to be on TV at this time of year, and so it became a tradition to watch it as well. There is one Czech fairy tale among them all, though, which I cannot imagine Christmas without. Unless I hear the theme of Three Nuts for Cinderella, it simply isn't Christmas Eve. So much it is connected with Czech Christmas. This time, I invited my very own sister to be with us at the Cat Coach Café because, as I said earlier, I don't know anybody else who would love Christmas as much as the two of us do. So I thought it's a perfect opportunity to talk to her about Christmas and how she creates Christmas in France with all the Czech traditions, and given her many places that she lived, how she's bringing elements of the other countries to her Christmas, perhaps. But when I first approached her if she would like to be on the podcast, her response was, "Yeah, sure, if it helps you, but I am nobody." And in that moment, I felt so sad because so many of us feel that way, like we need to be somehow publicly known to feel like our stories are worthy of sharing. And that is so not true. You are somebody no matter what you do. You are a star to your family. You are a star to your little daughter. And your stories are totally worthy. So take this as your Christmas present, perhaps, and remember it. And now let's dive into our conversation. Let me start off with saying that all of our lives, we've been told that our voices sound exactly the same, so we are unrecognizable and people can't tell us apart. So if you struggle figuring out which one of us is talking, then yes, you're not alone and we do apologize. Now, let's start with the most important question of all. You lived in quite a few countries by now. Czech Republic, obviously, the UK, Australia, and now France. So, which Christmas is the best?
For me, always and forever, Czech Christmas will be number one.
Exactly.
Followed by England. And then, of course, Australia, not so much. And France, as I'm discovering, not so much either.
So, talking of Australia, because I know we both are obsessed with like the idea of Christmas in the snow, right? We love snow. What was it like to be in Australia where it's like full on summer during Christmas?
So I never actually stayed in Australia for Christmas. I always left a couple of days before Christmas to go back to the Czech Republic because I just couldn't imagine staying in Australia for Christmas. But being there the whole December before Christmas was strange because you do feel somehow festive. Everything is decorated. There are Christmas trees everywhere. There are hot chocolates and Christmassy drinks everywhere, and lots of Christmas decorations in stores. But it's summer, so at the same time, you can go Christmas shopping and then you go to the beach to swim in the ocean. So it's a bit different to what we're used to.
And you don't really need the hot chocolate, right?
And you don't really need the hot chocolate yet.
Yeah.
So it's a very different experience. It was nice, but I think it was nice because I knew I would go home eventually. So I enjoyed it. And at the same time, I didn't really feel like decorating my apartment because it felt out of place in such heat. But I knew I would go home. So I didn't mind that much. I think I would be quite sad if I had to stay there because I know like my husband stayed there for one Christmas, And he celebrated it on the beach, doing a barbecue with the friends. And that's how they do it. They often go to the beach and they celebrate by doing a barbecue, and then they swim and then they drink. So it's nothing like what we know here in Europe.
When we still used to celebrate Christmas together here in the Czech Republic, we had this habit of putting together a list of Christmas cookies that we're going to make each year. And that was always accompanied by quite a few fights because everybody was fighting for their favorites, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
So, is it different now that you are the one deciding all of the cookies? Do you enjoy it more that it's all in your, that you're the decision maker, or would you prefer to come back to the Christmases where you just come and everything is ready, even though, you had to make some compromises?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I really enjoy picking my cookies. I really love flicking through the magazines every year. They're always the same ones. Not true, because I usually have at least one new magazine every year just to add to my collection,
Collection.
which I
Yeah.
call my family legacy. Uh,
Yes.
but I do enjoy picking the cookies. It's really hard to find where to stop. Usually I my list is way too long, and then I arrive to around 20th of December and I realize, well, there's no way I can do this. So I start dropping the ones that are left from the list, and I have what I have. I don't miss the arguments about the cookies at all, because now I can do whatever I
Surprisingly.
want. But it was nice to arrive home every year and have it all there. I always used to finish off cookies. It's not true I didn't do anything,
That is
but
true.
the biggest part of the work was done for me. And so I really enjoyed the tweaking and doing the last ones. And when I was off work already during my holidays, it was fun. Now it's different. Now I'm trying to fit it in my life around work, around the baby, and that's very different. So it truly makes me appreciate what was done for me then. And it
Oh,
makes
that's
me
good to
really,
hear. Because I
yeah,
used to have all these years, I was the one who was preparing Christmas, and sometimes I felt like so unappreciated, actually.
yeah, no,
So,
it
yeah.
wasn't appreciated, but back then it was like, that's what it is. It's
Yeah, exactly. And that's
it's
how I
fun to
felt.
make
It's,
them.
it was accepted. Like, yeah, well, of
Yeah,
course, you know, so
there are cookies. I come home, there are cookies.
so it does give me a bit of a feeling of satisfaction, I have to say, to hear that now.
So yeah, now I really realize I've done it for, I think, 2 years in a row, or maybe three. And yeah, now I really know what it is to make them. Not that I don't enjoy it, but yeah, now I know much more. And so
Talking
yeah.
talking of the amount of Christmas cookies, what is the acceptable number of Christmas cookies according to you? Or what is too many?
Ah,
Or is there such a thing as too many?
mm, I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever reached too many, so I don't know. I would say 15 is my average that I go with. I think around 15 is a good number, a good selection. 20 sounds like a lot. That would be probably too much. Unnecessary. It's never too much. Unnecessary, I would say.
Because I come across like whenever I try to describe our Christmas cookies tradition to foreigners, they're always like, "What? So many?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's normal." And they're always like, "That's so much work." Well,
It is.
it is, but that's what Christmas is, right?
Yeah.
But however, I do know that you actually uh, made your husband to help you in the past 2 years,
Yes.
sort of
Indeed.
unwillingly, but willingly.
It's always willingly until it becomes unwillingly. So, because
But he never refuses, right? That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's more like last year I involved him in picking the cookies as well. So that
Oh,
was fun because he doesn't speak Czech and all my magazines are in Czech. So he was literally picking by pictures that he liked. And then he
no.
was like, let's make this and this and this and this. And then I either approved or disapproved
So you
based on,
still had the last word.
yeah, because I'm the one making them and the
Yeah, of
difficulty
course.
level. So he was involved. And when it comes to making them, at the beginning, he's always keen to help. And then about halfway through December, he's like, okay, and now I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't enjoy it anymore. And that's when I'm left to it on my own, which is fine.
Oh, I thought that's when you force him to carry
No, I don't force it. I'm like, okay, I get that. Like it's
on.
it's a very unique activity to do the whole month. So
Yeah, I guess we have it like us Czechs, we have it in our DNA sort of. So for us, it's completely normal, but everybody else is like, what?
yeah, exactly. It's like, what are you doing?
We have this tradition in our family that we actually we save the Christmas wrapping papers. We have like this massive cardboard box, like I don't know if that's in other countries, these big banana boxes, or if it's just here,
Yeah.
probably everywhere, these banana boxes, right? We have that one of them full of old wrapping papers, but it's just so, not only it's like environment friendly, right? But it's also such a beautiful tradition that you sort of grow up with these wrapping papers and then you see them each year sort of reappear. It's really nice. And I actually realized that I never asked you if you are doing that now that you have your own Christmas. Are you doing that as well? Are you saving the wrapping papers?
Yes. Yes. I started my collection here in France.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I've got a very young collection, but I started, I couldn't really do it in England because I was never home for Christmas. I couldn't do it in Australia because I wasn't home at Christmas. So this is the first time I'm actually making, well, this is the first time I'm actually making Christmas myself for the first last couple of years. I've never done that before, despite my age. So yeah, I am creating my own box because I really love having the old papers and going through them. And usually I try to find like one or two new ones for the year. And then I use the ones from last year and keep them as a memory.
Yes, that's another thing that we always kept the old ones, but each year we would add some new ones. So
Yeah,
that's why the collection grows always.
yeah.
But I managed actually last year and this year so far, I managed not to buy any new wrapping papers. So I'm pretty proud of myself, I have to say.
This year I managed to so far. There's nothing nice around.
Another heated debate. 24th in the evening
Yeah.
or 25th, which one is right?
It's interesting because the last couple of years with Emma being a baby, we've done both. So together we opened our gifts on 24th in the evening when she was asleep. Then we get up on 25th in the morning, and that's when she opens her gifts. And it's actually really exciting to get up and know that she's going to open her gifts and we're going to open gifts and play with them. It's really nice. I wouldn't swap it, but it's actually a really nice feeling to get up to 25th and be like, oh, there are gifts under the trees. And it's a really nice feeling.
So growing up, once Emma will be growing up, do you intend to reestablish the Christmas Eve though, the Czech way, or how will you
Yeah.
do it?
For now, my plan is, well, this year, I think she will open her gifts on Christmas Eve. I don't see us being able to make her sleep before we have our dinner and open our gifts anymore because she's now 3 years old and she will know something's going on. So it will be probably the first year we will actually open all of the gifts in the evening, and then there will be nothing in the morning. So let's see how that is. Maybe who knows? Maybe we leave one gift each for the morning in the future. Who knows? But I
And that
think
way you're sort of bringing back that British aspect that you liked.
kind of, yeah. But we'll see. The plan is to have normal Christmas, which is for me, which for me is 24th in the evening. But thinking about having a second child who's not going to be able to open gifts in the evenings for the next couple of years, there is probably going to be quite a blend of the two.
And looking back at the Christmases of your childhood, what does stand out? What are some of your favorite memories and or even just a feeling maybe that you would like to would like Emma to experience as well?
It's hard to describe. It's just that, like you say, it's a feeling. It's kind of, there's something special in the air. It's
Mm.
Christmas time. Everything is all sparkly at home, decorated. We used to decorate the tree together. That's my kind of early memory. I don't
Yeah,
actually remember the tree being decorated for us. I just
yeah.
remember when we were decorating the tree.
Mm. I
So,
actually do have a memory of like the tree being decorated and we were let in to the closed room. It was still at our grandparents and the doors to the living room were closed. And then there was this jingle of a bell
mm,
and they let us in and all the lights were on for the first time on the tree and the tree was beautiful and then there were all the presents and that's like my like earliest memory
yeah,
of the magic of Christmas.
yeah. Yeah, it's true because we used to decorate the tree on Christmas Day on 24th.
Yeah,
Yeah, so then you can create this kind of magic,
yeah,
which I won't be able to create because I won't do this anymore. I've decided that we will have the Christmas tree early every year, like um, from first week or second week of December, probably, just because just because we need to spread out the tasks of preparing Christmas
yeah,
and to be able to enjoy the tree a bit more as well in December and the whole spirit of Christmas. It's true, it takes away this magical moment of wow on
yeah.
24th, but yeah, that won't be possible anymore. So yeah, we won't
That's
create that.
that's like the dilemma I have. Like I don't have my kids yet, but if
Mm,
I ever have kids, I always debate on this as well because I now enjoy having the tree a bit ahead of time as well because it sort of helps me get into the Christmas mood and
mm,
realize it's Christmas and makes me enjoy it more and realize why I'm doing all the cookies and all that stuff. But
mm.
if I had kids, this moment I remember from my childhood. That's just so magical. I love the tradition. So yeah, I don't know if it ever comes to it, what I'm gonna do, because
Mm.
it's just the
Yeah,
most beautiful memory.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think I will go back to decorate on 24th, but I don't know, to be honest.
Do you
Mm,
remember that Christmas when we found like this massive bag that looked like Santa Claus's bag underneath? Uh,
mm,
it was at our desk in our room, I think, and then our dad took it and transported it under the tree and that then the same night he showed me in the sky like these two lines that look like lines from Sledge.
mm.
It's like my favorite Christmas memory. So I'm just wondering if you remember this as well or if you have any other favorite memories that got stuck.
I think this one is the same one that I have in my mind. I don't remember the bag thing.
You
I remember
don't?
the looking out of the window. I remember getting the Disney coloring book that Christmas, if it
Okay.
was that Christmas, or if they're all blending together, I don't know. But that was like my favorite Christmas that I remember. It was in the living room of my grandparents' apartment. And yeah, we got lots of toys. And the one I remember is the Disney coloring book,
It's
the
so
really
funny.
big, thick one. That was the best Christmas gift, I think, ever to this date for some reason. I don't know why.
It is true that I've been wanting to buy a coloring book like that, even now as I'm an adult, because I'm really like I love coloring, but all these like modern anti-stress coloring books are like totally stressful to me. Like it's got so much detail that I'm totally stressed of it.
Mm,
So I'm like, I want those coloring books that we had as children, and like the one you're describing.
exactly. So
So I wish
that's
I could
my
that's
favorite
actually a
memory.
really good tip for future if I can ever get one somewhere, even though it seems it doesn't exist anymore. But if I ever manage to find something like that, you will get it under the Christmas tree.
Okay, thank you. And then I guess that the other memories, like the overall feeling when we used to go for walks and it was really cold outside, that we would come home all frozen and all we wanted was a tea with a bit of rum or punch in it and
Yeah,
Christmas cookies and just switch on the TV and watch the Czech movies that we loved and
yeah,
just sit on the sofa with the Christmas tree. That kind of cozy feeling
yeah.
is amazing, but really hard to recreate these days because it's too warm outside.
That is very true. That's the thing with the global warming. It's getting too warm. And I always
Yeah,
say, okay, fine. If it's cloudy and it looks miserable and dark, it's still fine. Just no sun on Christmas Day,
yeah,
please.
exactly.
That just
Exactly.
feels wrong. It's like Easter suddenly and not Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Christmas favorites. Just quickly, first thing that comes to your mind. So, favorite movie,
Popelka.
Cinderella. Yeah.
Yes.
Favorite song.
Uh, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh wow, that's surprising. I thought you were gonna say Last Christmas or something.
Also, Mariah Carey. What's the name of the
All I
song?
Want for Christmas.
Yes, those two.
And talking of favorite Christmas movies, that was a fairy tale. Do you have a Christmas movie as well? Like,
It
not a
keeps
fairy tale.
changing, but I would say Love Actually or Holiday.
Best part of Love Actually, Hugh Grant stands.
Definitely.
Favorite cookies.
Ah, that's hard. That is salami, the chocolate salami.
For me, it's
And
the rum balls.
oh yeah, the rumbles. But again, it changes every year. Every year there is one that I'm like, ah, this year I really love this one.
Yes. So you have
Yeah.
potato salad and the traditional Czech fried carb for Christmas dinner.
Mhm.
And how does the Christmas dinner as such look like?
My rule of for the family is we dress up. So we look
Yes.
nice, at least for one evening. We all look really nice. And that's, of course, coming from our home from when I was growing up. We were always dressing up in something that we had. We didn't necessarily buy any extra clothes for Christmas Eve to look new and beautiful,
No.
but we always found something special in our wardrobe that we would wear for that evening. And so I'm trying to keep that as well for Christmas Eve. And I used to also like to dress up for the days after to at least the 25th, 26th. You know, you get up in the morning and you dress up, and when you're bigger, you do your makeup or do your hair. So you look nice for Christmas to
Yeah.
celebrate it. But my husband is of different opinion. So he wants Christmas to be in a comfy, Christmassy, fun pajamas. So we all are cozy and nice at home. And this is hard to accept for me because I'm used to dressing up on Christmas and looking beautiful. And
Yeah.
he wants to look cozy and pajama-like. And I'm like,
That's
no.
too American.
Both of them have something to it because if you have cool pajamas or cool outfits, home outfits that are Christmas themes, it's really nice. Everybody looks Christmassy as well. But I wasn't used to it, so I'm trying to find a balance between the two for me,
Mm.
because I don't want to force anyone to be dressed uncomfortably for 3 days if they don't have to. But at the same time, I don't want to be feeling ugly in a pajama because I don't feel very nice in a pajama.
Yeah.
So that's
But for Christmas Eve, it must be like
but
dressed nicely, right?
exactly. Christmas Eve, we dress up nicely and that
No
works,
exceptions.
no exceptions, and luckily has been accepted.
Good.
The other up 2 days, yeah, I had to kind of let go of that idea. I can dress up a little bit nicer if I want, but my husband is most likely going to wear a Christmassy pajama. Luckily, he got a really nice one for him, so he looks nice in it. So I accepted that that's okay because it's not an ugly,
So
tacky, horrible
so you can
Christmas.
look at him and still like him.
Exactly, because it's actually a really nice, good taste Christmas pajama. So that's fine. And Emma is wearing her Christmas. Well, it depends what she will want to wear this year. Knowing her at this point, she will probably want to wear her dress,
Nice. So
even though.
you will have a partner in crime.
So I might have a partner in crime, especially if she sees me that I put tights on and a skirt on, then she will want to do the same for sure.
Talking of the Christmas traditions and what we did on Christmas Day and the Christmases that we used to spend at home, there was a tradition on the 25th of December. We would always go to our grandparents in the evening for dinner, and we would get so full from our grandma's feast. And I remember how we always sort of dreaded going there because we were already so full from all the stuff that we've eaten at home, and then we got like extra stuff there and extra Christmas cookies. But I personally, looking back now that our grandparents are no longer with us, unfortunately, I miss those evenings and even that feeling of sickness.
Yes, for sure. Same here. Like it was part of Christmas and it was somehow nice, even though we claimed it wasn't nice at the time.
Yeah,
It was, yeah, definitely something that it was part of Christmas. You would always have the chlebičky from grandma and
yeah,
lots of her cookies. And it was always fun to try someone else's cookies. We really enjoyed seeing what did grandma do this year
yeah.
for
Because our
cookies.
grandma was the one who really loved to experiment. Unlike us,
Mm,
we usually tended to do like the same stuff that we already knew we like, but she would always experiment.
yes. Yeah.
Modern stuff. I
Yeah.
remember that we were always like, why are you experimenting so much? Because she would always bring it and be like, this year it's not so great.
Yeah. This year I tried something, but it's not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember how she used to be like annoyed when grandpa asked for something that, she didn't have on her list. And that was traditional because now she had to like do something he asked for. It wasn't new.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so funny. And how she was forcing the food on us. And yeah, it's funny how when you look back, all these things like you don't appreciate it in the moment that it's happening, but then it becomes like these memories that you're so fond of and you have to smile when you look back. It's like that
Yeah,
was so
yeah,
grandma.
exactly. Exactly.
Any special plans you have for this Christmas, particularly something new you want to try or some new tradition you want to maybe establish or anything at all?
There will definitely be new cookies trying,
Yeah.
new food trying. What I
In the
find in
grandma's
my
tradition, something new.
exactly. Always something new because it's fun to try. Otherwise, my new thing to try, which I didn't manage to achieve, I was close, but I didn't do it, was making my Christmas salad on 23rd. So then on 24th, I can really enjoy the day and setting things up and go out like we did
I,
last year.
I have a note to that because that's my plan as well. And I'll tell you why it's not just to enjoy Christmas Day, but how it's also sensible because last year there was power outage on the Christmas Day and we didn't have our salad ready yet. So I'm
Uh-oh.
like, okay, that's it. Never ever leaving Christmas dinner cooking for Christmas Day.
Yeah. Like one of our best memories from last year was that on 24th, we actually went to the mountain in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then we came home and had Christmas. And I would like to do the same this year. Hopefully, there will be snow as well. But it's just a nice feeling when your Christmas day is you spend it all together. You have nice breakfast because it's the first time you're gonna eat. Well, we eat. You shouldn't really, but we eat Vánočka and the Stollen, and you make a nice breakfast, and then you go out and you have fun, and then you have a really nice evening. I liked it, and I would like to keep that rather than what we used to do at home, which was like 24th was a manic preparation of everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to change it to I have really high hopes for this year, especially since I'm so stressed from this year already. So I really, really
Yeah.
want like peaceful Christmas
Yeah.
Day. But
And
I want
this
that
year,
every year. I haven't succeeded yet. So
yeah,
let's see if this year I will manage.
yeah, let's see. Last year I was so close and it was nice that at least this close, at least if we can get this close, would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, that would
Yeah.
be a huge progress for us as well if we got at least
Yeah.
this close. And also, there wouldn't be any more risk of not having our Christmas
Yeah.
dinner because of the power outage. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
no cooking on Christmas
No
Day.
cooking. Exactly. Otherwise, trying something new. Well, for us, it's gonna be having the Christmas Eve with Emma. That's gonna be new because
That's
she
gonna
won't
be
be
fun.
asleep. Probably she won't be asleep, most likely. So that will be new. Let's see how that goes. Other than that, I'm not sure if we're gonna try. I'm gonna try to do some little traditions with Emma that I think she would find fun, like putting candles in walnut shell halves and letting them float in the water.
Mhm.
So we'll try that because she loves candles and blowing them.
Oh, yeah, she does.
So yeah. So we'll try a little tradition like this. And otherwise, I don't know. I haven't thought that far yet.
Sounds great. What would be your wish for people this Christmas?
So that they can spend their Christmas the way they want and wish, so that they're not forced to do what they don't feel like during Christmas. Because we have many friends who spend their Christmas doing things they don't really want to be doing, like driving across the countries to see all the family instead of being together, which is what they really want to do.
Mm.
Yeah, my wish is so that people do what they want, spend the Christmas in the way they want, and so that they don't stress over little things like I do, and
Same
rather
here.
let themselves enjoy the moment and just let go. If you can't do it, just let go. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's
That's what I
really
keep
okay.
repeating myself. It's the feeling, it's not the
Yeah,
things.
yeah. And yeah, so that those who want snow get some snow. Christmas is supposed to be a relaxing, beautiful time. So try and make that happen because it's not easy. It's not at all easy. We all claim how Christmas is such a wonderful, beautiful time, but is it really? Are
Yeah,
we really, are we really making it such a beautiful, wonderful time, or is that just all pretended? And
exactly. Or it's more
yeah,
like a wish, and we somehow convinced
yeah,
ourselves that that's the way it is.
yeah, exactly.
Because we look back at the Christmases of the past when we were maybe still children, and we somehow just sort of try to bring that feeling back and forget that it's actually not happening in the present moment.
Yeah. Like my biggest lesson learned over the past couple of years was just it's okay if it's not the same
Oh,
the way
yes.
it used to be when we were children, as long as it's nice, as long as it feels nice.
Yeah, that was a big one for me as well because I used to be like obsessed with recreating the magic of the childhood Christmases only to be disappointed every year because it's impossible because life is not the same, so it can't even be the
Exactly.
same and I might not even need the same and yeah, it's just that's a big lesson for me as well.
Yeah, so I think that's just do what you want to do, not what you feel like you have to do.
Yeah, exactly. And be okay with the fact that that can be different every year.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's what makes it more memorable in the end, because then it doesn't blend all together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The mountain is a white whale, and the lanes are lined with ice. The trees have stars in their branches, and all the fields sparkle. The night seems to listen to the owl's carols as the dogs growl in their sleep. The spirits are abroad. It is Christmas. Christmas! Was there ever such a magical word to a child? A word with a world in it, a word containing a silver moon and the crackle of burning twigs, flying things and kings led by stars, berries and gold and pheasant feathers. A word with the darkness of fir forests in it. As a child, I knew the spirit world, shapes pushed into the corners most of the year that chased me upstairs, hung around in the dark by the door and lurked under the bed. There were dragons on our mountain and ogres behind the lowering clouds of winter. My mother, brother, and I lived close to them all, high above the valley in an ancient farm. We had bats and rats, tame mice, and huge spiders. Goblins would have been no surprise. But only once in 4 seasons did the adult world stoop to enter the one we lived in. And what a cascade of marvels there was then. Christmas is coming, our mother said. Everything was coming. Our father, whom we rarely saw, would come, and Father Christmas, whom we still had not seen, and food, feasts with puddings, which we never had, and presents. We would even, in our aunt's house, see some television. Indiana Jones, Darth Vader, and adverts. We loved adverts. The Advent calendar provided the drum roll, and then it was upon us. And at last, the grown ups dropped their miserable obsessions with school and work and bills and turned to matters of true importance. We're going to get the tree today, our mother said, and we cheered. We lived in the coldest house in the world, but at least we had the biggest tree. The tree had tremendous power, spiky and delicate, sticky with sap and that smell like a strange relative who came to preside over the best day of the year. With the lanes too icy to drive on, we carried it up the hill and dragged it over the meadows. We dressed it like a god in lights and glass and tinsel. When it was done, we turned off the other bulbs and contemplated it, bewitched by its colors and shadows, the infinite and tiny worlds in the baubles and the spaces between its branches. Now for the holy, she said. It should be good, as long as the fieldfares haven't eaten all the berries. The coming of the northern thrushes was another sign, like the fire's embers in the morning, that the great feast was near. Out we went again, to the copse where the fox lived and the pigeons roosted, to do battle with the spiny trees. Unwrapping presents was the climax of Christmas for us, the bit we knew we should not look forward to most of all, but did, and with the stockings it came twice. And we loved the season's stories. Christmas was a blizzard of stories, a world transformed by their power, and we made no distinction between the ancient and recent. At Christmas, after we had gone to bed, our mother said all the animals could talk. The sheep would moan about the cold and the food, of course, because all sheep are always hungry. But I wondered what the old cat hissed at our dog. What a rattle of conversation there must be down there as the mice compared notes on their ordeals in my trap, a cereal bowl propped on a pencil. I always let them go. And the cat asked the dogs for a quieter year, please, less midnight barking. It was eerie and terrifying when they did it for long, baying like wolves on the moon. And the dogs told wild stories about all the foxes they had nearly caught and the badger baiters they had seen off. This excerpt was taken from the beautiful book The Light in the Dark, a Winter Journal by Horatio Clare. And I picked this excerpt specifically because to me, it just captures the magic of Christmas so perfectly. I highly recommend reading this journal on the winter nights just because of the beauty of the language used. Now, let's have a little gathering here at the Cat Coach Café. We had some amazing guests this year on the podcast, and I am excited to bring them back now so they can tell you about their favorite Christmas traditions, memories, ways they celebrate with their cats, and also what they would like you to take to Christmas this year, as well as in the new year. Some of the guests are yet to come in 2025, so take this as a little preview and a little Christmas gift, if you will. So apart from our past guests, which included Sherry Fink, Bitch of Shaw, Nikki from Lola and the Boys, and Rachel Rowland, we will also hear from Helen Vincent, the owner of the adventure cat Bowser, and also from James Norbury, the author of Big Panda and Tiny Dragon books.
Well, my favorite Christmas memory so far is from 2017. My husband and I had just gotten married on December 16th, and then we flew to Virginia to celebrate Christmas with my family. And it was his first Christmas with us. And Christmas Day is also his birthday. So we had Christmas morning, and then we had his birthday party that evening. And then, like 2 days later, we flew to Australia for our honeymoon. So it was just so special because I had always dreamt about having Christmas with my husband and my family and my hometown, and he was there. And then we got to celebrate his birthday with them too, which was amazing because we live in Los Angeles and it's, we don't typically get to celebrate our birthdays with them. So it was very, very special. And I'm sure we'll have even more special ones moving forward with our kids getting old enough to know Santa and get excited, but it was still a very magical experience.
So Christmas is our favorite holiday, and we spend it every year with family in the New England area in the US, which gets a lot of snow. And as I mentioned, Bowser is half Maine Coon, so winter is actually her favorite season. And she loves snow. And so that time of the year, we just go on lots of snow walks, and the snow will be like a foot deep, like up to like half our calf. And we have all these videos of her just like bouncing up and down in the snow. She's so happy. She's made for it. She's just, it's so special to see her so happy. Of all the environments where we bring her, desert, water, snow, city, nature, like just snow is her thing. She loves it. So that's really cute. And then, and then we celebrate, we get her this variety of little sweaters, which we didn't think a cat would need, especially a Maine Coon, but it does help her. And so anyway, we get like really nice, like little wool sweaters to like keep her body heat in, because when she's hiking, she doesn't need it, but then she's sitting in the backpack, not moving. And that's when we want to kind of capture her heat during those times. And so we celebrate by, going on lots of winter snowy hikes and getting really cute little sweaters for her. And then she does love the Christmas tree. She's very well behaved. Her favorite thing to do, we always get big Christmas trees, that she just likes to fall asleep curled up underneath, because it's like a little nook for her. And so we always know if we can't find her, she's probably under the Christmas tree taking a nap.
Oh, that's the same with my cats. Like I've always heard this like scary stories of like forget Christmas when you have cats and like forget Christmas tree. And I'm a huge Christmas freak. For me, like the whole year is about getting to Christmas basically.
Yes, same.
And Christmas tree must be perfect and all. So, and we have like a huge tradition here in the Czech Republic of like these beautiful glass bubbles and I have all that, and of course, with a cat, it's a bit dangerous. But I have to say that they have always been like super well behaved. Like they tried to climb it
Yeah.
like the first year only when they were still basically kittens. And ever
Kittens.
since then they just sleep underneath the tree and that's all. Like one thing that Aragorn used to do, he would just like stand close to the tree. He would like look up the bubbles because they were
Hmm.
shiny, right? He likes shiny stuff. And then he would be
Yeah.
like hypnotizing one of them. And then
Oh,
suddenly, with his little paw, he would start like touching it and
oh my
quicker and quicker
goodness.
and quicker.
So cute.
So that's like the most
So cute.
mischievous they get with
Oh.
Christmas tree. Yeah.
Oh, that is so sweet. I love that. That's really, really sweet. Yeah, no, Bowsette, she doesn't go for the balls, but she does love playing with ribbons. And so we
Mm.
always travel with a stash of ribbons. And yeah, at Christmas, there's a lot of ribbons around. So we just kind of like when people are opening presents, we just kind of like steal the ribbons and we stash them because we know that during the year, that's what we're going to be using to play with her. That's her favorite thing.
Yeah, it's like the simple things, right? That make the best toys, like no expensive toys, just like the stuff that you wouldn't even thought of. Like it's yeah, so little.
Well,
They
that's
need so
what's so
little.
funny. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what I love about cats. Now that we have this social media presence, so many companies write to us and they want to send us, free toys and stuff. And like,
Mm.
first of all, we are nomads. We have no room for any stuff. Like everything that we live with has to be very intentional because it has to fit in our car.
Yeah.
Which is why ribbons are perfect. But so we always say no. The other thing though that we say no is like we like she only needs simple things. She needs a ribbon, you know, she needs a light or whatever. Like we can play with like the flashlight on her phone and make shadows. She loves chasing shadows, and that's it. That's
Mm.
all she needs. She's very simple. I think all cats are that simple if you let them be.
And cardboard boxes, at least mine.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Anything that she can fit in cardboard boxes, flower pots, bathtubs, that's her jam.
How to catch a cat? Just leave a cardboard box somewhere for a little bit. Next time
A
you look,
hundred
there's a
percent.
cat.
100%. It must be cute, especially with three cats. I bet they fight over them.
Yeah, that is very true. There's usually like one who wins and then the other two are like sadly looking. So at one point we had like three boxes and they would be
Oh.
all on the bed and I always made fun of it because I always said they look like they're just in a train in their own bacon. It's like so funny.
That's so cute. Oh, I would love to see that. You'll just send me a picture. That sounds ridiculously cute.
So, what is your favorite Christmas memory or a favorite Christmas present that you can remember? Is it connected with books, maybe, or not at
Ah,
all?
I think well, we have a Christmas tradition,
Mhm.
which is that we do a Secret Santa, but it always has to be books, right? Like everyone has to get somebody else a book.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
for me, that's like the big thing for Christmas. It's like I wonder what book I'm going to get. And then I
Oh,
wonder, who's the person I'm gonna have to get a book for, and what am I gonna get them? But
that's
for
so
me,
cool. I love that.
yeah, I just think Christmas, I think Christmas is the perfect time to catch up on reading, right? For a lot of people.
Yeah.
For me, Christmas is, I do catch up on a lot of reading and novels as well.
Mm.
It's a time where you're not thinking about anything and you can just escape into a novel. So I do sort of prioritize reading more novels during Christmas. I'll always have like three or four that I really want to read. Um, but yeah, I'll pull together a couple of novels that I've just been wanting to read all year and haven't been able to. So
Uh, Talking about cats and Christmas,
Mhm.
what do you give your cat as Christmas present, if any?
Mm, you know, we used to buy, when I was younger, this is something I kind of remember from childhood. I've not done it for a long time, but we used to buy these cat stockings that you could get that, they were filled with cat treats and different cat foods. And we used to buy those because we would have stockings and then we would get like the cat's stockings as well. But I've not done that for a while. I usually buy like their favorite treats. If anyone is from the UK who's listening, probably know these. They're called Dreamies,
Yeah.
and the cats are just obsessed with them. So I will usually buy some different flavors of dreamies as well. Maybe a new toy or something like that.
I'll always try to like buy them some new toys and all kinds
Yeah,
of stuff. And then one year I realized the one thing I will always make them the happiest with is just food. So
yeah,
I sort of
exactly.
switched to like buying them perhaps something a bit more fancy,
Yeah,
and or just treating them more during Christmas because yeah, kids are funny. Like it's like you buy them whatever it is and they will choose the box it came in. So it's like they don't
yeah,
really need
that's
anything.
true. That's very true.
So
And I would
cardboard
sometimes
boxes and
wrap
food.
things for them as well, even
Yeah.
if they couldn't open it, I would like wrap it up. And then I would be like, "What's this?" and open it in front of them. And then they're usually more interested in the
In the
wrapping
paper.
paper or the box, like you said.
And Aragorn especially is always interested more in a ribbon. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's how do you celebrate Christmas with your cats? Do you have any special rituals or do you make them part of Christmas in some special ways?
They're always part of Christmas. There's one thing that we always do annually, and that is the photo under the Christmas tree. So we always have that there. Um, and it's been really lovely the past couple of years to see Teddy and George in that as well.
Mm.
So we always do the photo under the tree. They always have their treats and they get their little packs where they get their toys and things like that. But the other tradition they always have turkey on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's great.
And my very placid George goes from being very quiet and very, just chilled. That's the one day that he will growl if anybody goes near his bowl. I don't know if it's because it's fresh meat, but he just absolutely loves the turkey.
Oh.
So yeah. And yeah, it's just a special time to spend even more time with them because we're not working. So we get that extra 2 weeks off, which is really lovely.
Do they get any special presents apart from the
Bits and
treats?
bobs, yeah, bits and bobs. So we'll sometimes get some catnip toys and things like that they like. I mean, Lola's still got her Brussels sprout that she's had for years. Not an actual vegetable Brussels sprout; it's a little toy. She's still got that. And one of our lovely followers actually had a little teddy made of her, and it's got her picture on it. So she's got that. So she absolutely loves that.
She plays with herself.
Yeah, exactly. She loves that. But yeah, we just dote on them as much as we possibly can be. I mean, it's just a joy to have them.
What would you like to wish people for Christmas this year, and what would you like for them to take into the new year?
I think if there was one thing that I think it would be really great for people to sort of have as a gift, it would be the ability to just enjoy and embrace everything as it is, and like even the downs, I try to. It's a topic I think goes through most of my books, is that life does this all the time. Yeah. And if you only enjoy the bits at the top, then most of your life you won't enjoy. If you only enjoy the highlights. And so to try and enjoy the low bits, being stuck in queues or being bored, or I don't know. I'm not saying to enjoy the horrible bits, because that's very difficult to do. I wouldn't, but I suppose if it's the classic thing, we tend to, on the whole, be about destinations in our life. We try to achieve things and then we get happy when we achieve them, and then that happiness immediately sort of fades and we decide, oh, what do we want next? What's the next exciting thing that we can do? And so you start here and you travel to this point and then you'll be happy. But this point only lasts a very brief period of time. So it's really prudent to enjoy this bit as well. And if even if this bit goes wrong, so to try and enjoy the chaos and and I think a really good idea is to bear in mind that you don't know what, if say a car crashes into the front of your house and smashes your wall down or something like that, we'd naturally be very upset and all that, and we'd be panicked and maybe anxious, and we'd be depressed about the bill and all this sort of thing. But you don't know that the person who crashed into your wall, when you meet them, they might be your future husband or wife and the best person you ever met, or something like that. You just don't know. Or the insurance adjuster who comes out to look at the wall and file your claim might become your best friend, and you'd never have met if it wasn't for this accident, or something like that. So if you bear that in mind on a day-to-day basis, then when things go wrong, you're like, oh, you'll never know what good might come of this this event, and it helps to take the edge off all the negative things.
So to be open, basically.
To be open to the idea that, I think they call it non-dualism or something like that in Buddhism, where situations aren't really bad and good, you just perceive them as so. And you see, that's hard to justify if like your best friend dies or something. You say, well, how can that be good? But that's an extreme situation. If you put those in a different box, that doesn't tend to happen every day. But if you look at the everyday situations that we don't like we, and try to think, well, who knows whether this is really a good or bad thing. And you find if you can do that, it takes a lot of the pain away from your life, because most of the pain we have is over very small things.
Yeah.
And most of it's kind of unnecessary. The pain was very brief, but the suffering that we endure afterwards by tormenting ourselves about it, that goes on and on.
And it's got also very bad physical effects on our health. Bad. Yeah.
And I'm not immune to it. I'm not some enlightened guru or something. I didn't sleep particularly well last night because I had this annoying thing go around in my head, and you're like, oh, it's stupid. But if you do manage to think, actually, that annoying thing that happened, who knows how it might turn out? It might be really good. It might be the best thing that ever happened to me. And I was when I was at school, at sixth form school, I went away for a year. I lived in Malta for a year. And then when I came back, I was in the wrong year to continue my education. So I lost all my friends and everything. But I was in the same class as my wife, where I met my wife at school.
Oh,
so,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's a good example. There were all sorts, you get upset because you lost all your friends and you're a year older than everyone in your class. But, I met my wife, who I've been with like 25 years or something like that. So,
wow.
It's we can try and apply that principle. That would be a great thing to take into the new year. At least try, at least have a go at it and see if it works for you.
Yeah, I love that mindset. Yeah. I've also learned I'm trying to look at life in this way, because several times before, looking back, I can see that everything that happens for a reason, even sort of most of the not so pleasant things, the bad things, even like when you lose a job, you're really upset, but then in a few years you see there was a reason to it, because you were supposed to get on a different path, or do something else, meet other people. It's just we need to trust the path, sort of, and stop asking so many questions all the time, I would say.
That's really good. Stop. That's something we do a lot. We go, am I happy? Am I satisfied? Could I be doing something else? I don't know if this is a good idea. And then you make yourself very discontent.
Yeah. And even don't even when something happened, just keep that mindset of, well, we'll see where that leads. Because if we start asking all these questions in that moment, like, why did this happen? And we will never figure it out in that moment. It's just such a waste of energy.
Yeah. And we're all, we're still here and we're doing okay. So we must, that's something else I find interesting, is all the things I've worried about in my life. most of them, I'm fine. So most of them were a waste of time.
Yeah. What would you wish for people to take into the new year?
Open-minded, open-hearted, open to possibilities, and open to things being easier than you ever imagined to achieve your goals.
I think my wish for people to take into the new year would be to look at their fears and look at what's holding them back, and then think about maybe pushing themselves a little bit outside of those, and using the example of a tiny cat who pushed outside her comfort zones and now explores the whole world as maybe an example of how when we ourselves push past our comfort zones, our whole world can open up as well.
Ooh, I mean, for me, it's gonna be something like book related, but we need to like leverage your reading and consider like self-bibliotherapy as a practice, perhaps. Really, like there's so much you can get out of your reading. So like give it a go, right? We're talking about giving new things a go. So I'd say like give it a go, see what comes up for you. You don't need to necessarily see a professional. Just try the self-bibliotherapy. There are lots of free resources on my website if you're stuck, but like really leverage your reading because you'll be surprised. You'll be hopefully pleasantly pleased that you got something out of it, something new and fresh and refreshing, perhaps that you've learned. So I would really say that, like that would be the 3 words, like leverage your reading. Yeah.
What would be your Christmas wish for the listeners and something you would like them to take into the new year?
So Christmas wish would be to maybe consider adopting. I think we see, all of these things like a cat's not for Christmas, a dog's not for Christmas, and all those sorts of things. But I think if you are in that space of thinking that it would be a great introduction to your family, adopt, don't shop.
Yeah. If you do it right, it can work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Yeah.
It will certainly make you feel really good, knowing that you've done your bits. Fostering, potentially. Would people consider fostering? That can't commit to having a cat always. There's lots that need fostering. And just taking it into the new year to look after each other. Really look after each other. Think about your mental health, your well-being, what makes you feel good. And just trying to look after each other. I think that's the main thing from my perspective.
Humans and animals alike, right?
Yeah, 100%. Humans and animals alike, definitely.
I think for Christmas, or just the month in general, if people don't celebrate Christmas, I suppose I would just wish for people to have a happy and safe Christmas. And I know it can be a difficult time of year as well for a lot of people. So I think to not feel pressured to feel a certain way at Christmas. If you don't feel the joy, that's completely fine. Everyone's going through different things at that time of year, and it can be a lot of pressure. The same with New Year. Going into the new year, I think a lot of people feel, they should overhaul their entire lives and that they should change everything and achieve all of these big goals. But I think maybe just taking some pressure off yourself and not feeling like you need to give in to that kind of thing. And just going easy on yourself, not feeling you have to do anything in particular or feel a certain way. But yeah, I would just wish that people would have a happy and safe time.
And not get snowed in anywhere.
And maybe in a cat cafe.
Maybe that is true. I love that. Before I let you go, I wanted to finish with some wisdom from Aragorn and his guide to wintering and joyful Christmas. So here are the steps he shared on his Substack, the Cat Coach Diaries. Step number 1, long naps. Don't resist them. They're extra delicious at this time of year. especially with all the twinkling lights around. You don't even have to sleep, just close your eyes for a moment and rest. Don't resist the lust for sleep though. Winter was made for it. Just look around you and be more like your cat. Surrender to it fully. Don't fight it and give it your all. Radiate pleasure while you do so. Not only will it feel good to you, but it is also contagious, so you'll actually be helping those around you. Generally, don't put too much on your plate, unless it's food, of course, because you need to make some reasonable supplies at this time of year, because winter is long. And the better you prepare, the better and longer the rest, and less time you spend getting up to eat, which can be a little annoying sometimes. Make sure you digest properly in a stress-free environment. Rest or nap while you do so. Keep close to soft blankets. They can be extra comforting at this time of year, and also to your loved ones. While your eyes are closed, dream of all the things you can do once winter is over, but do not overthink it. All this should feel pleasurable. No stress is allowed. So there you go. It's really simple. Nap, rest, digest, and visualize. And repeat. You're welcome. Now go and apply it this Christmas and throughout the rest of winter. Merry Christmas, lovely humans. And with that, we got to the end of today's episode. There will be new Cat Coach Diaries coming up this Sunday, but the Cat Coach Café will close for the holidays and will reopen in January. As you're probably suspecting now, there are amazing guests waiting for you. We'll be adventuring with Bowser, and also we will talk to James Norbury. Lots of inspiration in store for you to start the new year with the right mindset. I have so much fun spending these last few months with you over here at the Cat Coach Cafe, and me, Aragorn, Apricot, and friends absolutely loved having you. I wish you the most beautiful Christmas. I hope it's a peaceful time, but above all, I hope it's exactly what you need and wish for. I will see you in the new year, and I cannot wait. See you on the other side. 2025. Wow, see you there.
Hi, I'm Sherry Fink, and I wish you the merriest, most magical Christmas of all.
It's Nikki here from Lady Lola and her boys, wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.
So we, Ellen, Alice, and Bowser, wish you a wonderful, happy Christmas.
Hi, my name is Bijal Shah, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
My name is James Norbury, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
My name is Rachel Rowlands. Merry Christmas to everyone who's listening, and enjoy your time with your family, your friends, and your cats if you have them.